Good morning, dear students. Today we are going to discuss the rest of our portion after the pollination. Okay, so after completing the pollination in flowering plants, there occurs the events of fertilization and the post-fertilization event. So today we are going to discuss about fertilization and post-fertilization. What are the structures involving in these two processes? Okay, so in fertilization, as I told you earlier that in fertilization there occurs mainly two events. So after the pollination of flower, the male and female gamete carried out by the pollen tube, isn't it? So the pollen tube will get germinated towards the embryo sac or the ovule of the flower, isn't it? And when it reaches the synergids of the micropylar end of the embryo sac, it will releases the male gametes. It will releases the gametes into the cytoplasm of the synergids. So there are two male gametes that is carried out through the pollen tube, isn't it? So here in this, one of the male gamete it will fuse with the egg cell. It will fuse with the egg cell, nuclei of egg cell, and it will lead to the production of a diploid zygote. And in this process is called as syngamy. So what is syngamy? Syngamy is the fusion of a male gamete with the nuclei of egg cell, and which will lead to the production of a diploid zygote. Okay, and there is another male gamete. That male gamete will fuse with the polar nuclei which is present on the central region of the embryo sac, isn't it? So the other male gamete will fuse with the polar nuclei, the triploid endosperm, primary endosperm nucleus is formed. The second male gamete will fuse with the polar nuclei which is located at the central position. Leads to the formation of a primary endosperm nucleus. Primary endosperm nucleus. This is a triploid structure. Okay, so and this process is called as triple fusion. Triple fusion. Why it says so? Because the three nuclei are fused in this process. That is, one male gamete nuclei and two polar nuclei that is fused to form a triploid primary endosperm nuclei. So there occurs the fusion of three nuclei. That's why it is called as triple fusion. So in this fertilization there involved two steps. First one is syngamy and the second one is triple fusion, and these two processes together called as double fertilization. Double fertilization. So did you understand why it is called a double fertilization? Yes, because of these two processes involved in this fertilization. That's why it is called as double fertilization. And soon after, the endosperm will the endosperm nucleus will undergo the free nuclear division and it will forms the endosperm, and the zygote will get developed into an embryo. So this is the overall process under the fertilization, under the double fertilization. Okay, and this double fertilization is a unique process in angiosperm flower. So after the fertilization, the embryo and endosperm will get developed and the post fertilization events are occur. So during the post fertilization, the ovule is get matured into a seed and the ovary is transformed into fruit. Okay, that is the post fertilization event. After the maturation of endosperm and embryo, the ovule, the matured ovule is get transformed into seed and the ovary is get matured or get transferred into fruit. So this is the process of post fertilization, and we have to discuss the development of an endosperm and embryo occurs in both dicotyledonous and monocotyledonous plant. How it occurs. So we have a look into that. So the primary endosperm cell after the triple fusion. Primary endosperm cell after the triple fusion, it will get divided to form a triploid endosperm tissue. Okay, a triploid endosperm tissue. And the major function of this endosperm is it will nourishes the developing embryo. So because it is the endosperm will get developed before the development of embryo, because it will provide the nutrition for the development of embryo. That's why it is get developed much earlier than the development of embryo. And this endosperm will contain more amount of reserve food material for the developing embryo. And in most common cases, the primary endosperm nuclei, we can shortly say that PEN, primary endosperm nuclei, will undergo numerous free nuclear divisions. Okay, nuclear divisions, so that it will produce as free nuclei, many free nuclei. And this free nuclei will form to produce free nuclear endosperm. Free nuclear endosperm. So after the double fertilization, the primary endosperm nuclei will undergo numerous free nuclear divisions to produce numerous nuclei, and simultaneously the free nuclear endosperm is formed. So it will contain many number of nuclei according to the plant species. Okay. And this free nuclear endosperm will undergo cell wall formation around it, and it will form into a cellular endosperm. So, after the formation of a free nuclear endosperm, it will produce a cell wall around it and will leads to the formation of a cellular endosperm. That is the development of a endosperm. And in some cases, like coconut, the liquid part, it is the free nuclear endosperm stage, and the white kernel is the cellular endosperm. Okay, in tender coconut, the liquid part is the free nuclear endosperm stage and the white kernel is the cellular endosperm stage. Is that clear? In some cases, the endosperm is completely consumed by the embryo before the germination of seed. In the case of pea, groundnut and beans. Okay, before the germination of seed, the endosperm is completely consumed by the embryo. And in some cases, it will persist on this mature seed and it will utilized only during the germination of the seed in the case of castor and coconut. Okay, so that's about the development of a endosperm. And now we have a look into the development of an embryo, how the embryo is developed after the fertilization. Okay. As we know that the zygote is developing into an embryo. Isn't it? Zygote develops into an embryo. So, it will form, the embryo is formed at the micropylar end of an embryo sac. So, because the zygotic, the fusion of male gamete with the egg cell occurs at the micropylar end, isn't it? So, the zygote is formed at the micropylar end and hence the embryo is also formed there. So, before forming an embryo, before getting the development of zygote into embryo, the endosperm is developed inside it because the embryo needs the nutrients for the development. It is provided by the endosperm. That's why it is formed just before the formation of an embryo sac. The development of an embryo is called as embryogeny. Embryogeny. And the early stages of the embryogeny, that is the development of embryo, is similar in both monocotyledons and dicotyledons. And the rest stages, that is the maturing stages, will be different for both. That is, in monocotyledons, one cotyledon is present, and in dicotyledons, two cotyledons are present in the embryo. Okay, that's the major difference between the embryos of two different plants, that is monocotyledons and dicotyledons. So, during the development, the zygote will get developed into a proembryo. A proembryo, and the proembryo will give rise to a globular heart-shaped embryo. Globular heart-shaped embryo, and this will give rise to the mature embryo. Mature embryo. This is the main stages in the development of an embryo from the zygote. The zygote will give rise to proembryo, and the proembryo will divide to form the globular heart-shaped embryo, and it will differentiate to form a mature embryo. And a typical dicote embryo will contain an embryonal axis and two cotyledons. A dicote embryo, it contains an embryonal axis and two cotyledons. The portion just above the embryonal axis, above the level of the cotyledons, is called as epicotyle. 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 The portion of embryonal axis above the level of cotyledon is epicotyle and it terminates into a region of plumule or shoot tip. Plumule or shoot tip, from which the shoot is get germinated. That is, the in the embryonal axis, just above the level of the cotyledons there is epicotyle, and at the tip of the epicotyle it is plumule or shoot tip. And the cylindrical portion below the level of this cotyledon is called as hypocotyle. Hypocotyle. And from this hypocotyle it terminates into radicle, from which the root tip will get germinated. Okay, so the region below the level of cotyledon is hypocotyle, and from this hypocotyle is it is terminate into a radicle, and the radicle will give rise to root tip. Okay, and there is a covering, there is a cap for the root tip which is called as root cap for protecting the roots. Root cap is there which covers the root tip, okay, which covers the radicle. This is the case of a dicot embryo. And what is about a monocotyledonous embryo? Let's have a look into that. In a monocotyledonous embryo, there is only one cotyledon is present. Example, mainly in the grass families. Grass family, there is only one cotyledon is present. So that cotyledon is situated at the lower lateral side of the embryonal axis, and it is called as scutellum. There is only one cotyledon is present, and that is located at the lateral side of an embryonal axis. It is called as scutellum. At the lower end of an embryonal axis, the root cap is seen, and it is enclosed in an undifferentiated sheath which is called as coleorhiza. Coleorhiza. Okay, coleorhiza is the region in which it is the root caps are enclosed within an undifferentiated sheath. It is called as coleorhiza at the lower end, and the portion of embryonal axis above the attachment of scutellum is called as epicotyle. And from this epicotyle, the shoot apex and the leaf primordia will occur. The shoot apex and the leaf primordia, which is enclosed in a hollow foliar sheath. It is called as coleoptile. So the shoot apex and the leaf primordia are enclosed in a hollow foliar sheath. It is called as coleoptile. Okay. So that's all about the monocotyledonous embryo, and the dicotyledonous embryo and monocotyledonous embryo are similar in their early stage, and it will get differentiated, or it is different in their later stages in the developing stages. Okay, and let's have a look into the pictures of both the embryos.
This is the picture of a typical dicot embryo, which consists of an embryonal axis and two cotyledons. The portion of embryonal axis above the level of cotyledons is the epicotyle, which terminates with the plumule or stem tip. The cylindrical portion below the level of cotyledons is hypocotyle that terminate at its lower end in the radicle or root tip. The root tip is covered with a root cap. And this is the picture of a monocotyledon embryo which possesses only one cotyledon, and it is called as scutellum. It is situated towards one side of the embryonal axis, and at its lower end the embryonal axis has the radicle and root cap enclosed in an undifferentiated sheath called coleorhiza. The portion of the embryonal axis above the level of attachment of scutellum is the epicotyle. Epicotyl has a shoot apex and a leaf primordia enclosed in a hollow folia structure, the coleoptile.
And this is all about the formation of endosperm and embryo after the fertilization, and the rest is the formation of seed that we will discuss in our next class. Okay, thank you.